Midnight video game releases. Everyone remembers the excitement. You rush to your local game store at midnight, or in my case on the West Coast, 9 p.m. to pick up that new game fresh off the press the second it's released. You pull into the parking lot that's completely empty other than outside the game store that has a long line. You run to the line hearing everyone's excitement talking about the new game, and you see everyone inside walk out with the hot goods. You catch a glance at the box art and get even more excited knowing you'll have your hands on that within minutes. Then you enter the store as the line gets shorter and shorter to eventually show them your crinkled ass receipt that was stuffed at the bottom of your mom's purse for months. But it doesn't even matter. They hand you the goods completely sealed, ready for you to tear open in the darkness of your car. Reading the manual on the way home, getting more and more hyped to throw that disc in your console to play until you can't keep your eyes open. Or 90% of the time for me, I had school the next day. So it was a trade. Do you want to go to bed excited or go to school tired? The excitement for a new game release is unmatched. Keeping up on all the news about the game through articles and gaming magazines, watching the same trailer over and over again, dissecting it, trying to find something new every time, or counting down the days to release like it's Christmas in September. There's nothing quite like this feeling nowadays. Chances are if you're buying the new release, you're just gonna buy it digitally and then play it the second it hits midnight. Or you could just be like any other normal person and just wait till the next day to go to the store and buy it. You could order it off of Amazon too. There's so many other options nowadays than waiting in line late at night for in some cases no reason if the game isn't even worth buying. Looking back on it, I really waited in line for Infinite Warfare. Like, what was I thinking, dude? Gone are the days of having to get in your car and drive to the store to get the game. Dude, I have to get in the car and drive? Unfortunately, midnight releases aren't really around anymore. People mostly just buy the game digitally and go about it that route. Of course, they still do exist. They're not completely extinct like dinosaurs just yet. They save them mostly for big releases. A big new Nintendo release like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, or if you're a real man, Call of Duty! I really waited in line for a couple Call of Duty releases, I'll admit that. One of the real reasons I was attracted to the whole midnight release idea was for the whole loot box they would give you. For some games, they would give you a pre-order bonus or a midnight release bonus like a poster or some little cool keychain or some little knick-knack like that along with the game, so it wasn't just the game you were getting sometimes. So it made it feel more special. I always walked away with a cool new poster or a bottle opener. Call of Duty, what the fuck were you doing? A majority of your fan base is like 12 years old and you're giving them a bottle opener for a knick-knack for a pre-order? Still got my Doom Eternal lunchbox. About to pull up to the lunch table looking fresh as hell with this one. Everyone's about to be so jealous. Damn, what you eating out of? Oh, nothing. Look, I don't care about the knick-knack. Just give me the damn game. Okay, you don't need the knick-knack. We could just take it a step further. You don't even need to go out. You could stay home in your avocado undies. Just buy the game digitally. Or if you're like me, you'll use a console game service like Game Pass on Xbox to get the new games. A lot of new games release on these services. Xbox and PlayStation have both been pushing more and more of their membership program, which is like a smacking deal. I'm gonna be honest, you get hundreds of games for like 15 bucks a month. So that's usually where I get my new games from mostly. I rarely go out of my way to spend the full $70 price tag to get a new game. I always just check to see if it's on Game Pass, and if not, then oh well, I'll wait till a sale or something. But I rarely run into that problem because Game Pass usually provides most of the new games that I play anyways. So it works out pretty well. As much as I understand and love the convenience of being able to pre-install the game beforehand and playing it the split second it launches, it's just not the same as going out on an adventure to snatch the game late at night with a bunch of other fans there to snatch their copy as well. Having the physical copy the day it launches is awesome. Yeah, I got it on launch day and you didn't. You have the memories of the adventures those nights as well. I remember all of my midnight releases so well, just because of how cool it was to be there in person and be all excited with a bunch of other fans to get your hands on the new game. What memories could you have with getting a digital release? If you don't give a shit about the experience and want to get right to the grind, then go for it. But for me personally, I'll always cherish those memories of releases and building up the excitement for a game. No doubt the gaming landscape has changed, leaning towards a more digital market like how streaming is with TV. More and more digital consoles are being released and more sales are digital than physical, and it totally makes sense. The convenience of having a game instantly with no hassle of driving to the store and back is almost unbeatable. But for me, the only thing that beats that is the experience of midnight releases. These were were massive back in the 2000s. So big to the point where they were being broadcasted on major TV networks.
The game called Halo 2.
45 minutes and counting for Halo 2 to go on sale.
The line right now is probably about 100 yards long.
It is the most anticipated game in entertainment history.
I believe this era of gaming is what blew it into the mainstream to where we see it today. Gaming is bigger than ever, and they're always trying to find ways to innovate, like going digital for convenience. And that's where we unfortunately see the death of midnight releases at game stores. The decline in popularity of game stores has also had a major impact as well. GameStop has been on the decline for years, and it was all due to their failure to innovate. And the more they did this, instead of selling actual video games, the more they drove people away. They have closed over 1,000 stores, especially after the whole stock situation back in 2021. Other stores do midnight releases as well, like Best Buy or Walmart. I mean, it's a great way to convince your mom to drive you there. Hey mom, do you want to go get some groceries real quick? We could pick up my game while we're there too. Casually at 12 a.m. Now this factor is a little bit outdated as it is almost 4 years at this point, and I try to never bring it up, but it's worth mentioning. One thing that kind of had an impact on midnight releases at the time was what happened in 2020. This destroyed every in-person event to ever exist. When I pre-ordered Doom Eternal and went to go pick it up at GameStop, they let me go pick it up at like 5 p.m. instead of going in late at night like usual. And there was only 10 people allowed in the store at a time. So it was just like a little bit of people in the store just getting their copies. It was so weird. The new generation of consoles launching in the thick of this didn't help either. It only amplified the problem. Nobody even had the new generation of console to get the game in the first place. All because of scalpers. Man, I'm thankful we're pretty much out of that era of gaming. Midnight releases definitely do exist. They're just not nearly as big as they used to be. Midnight releases years ago are unmatched by anything. The hype of getting a game the minute it releases alongside a bunch of other excited fans was a great feeling. I remember only going to a few midnight releases. My brother went to get us Call of Duty Advanced Warfare because I was still young. My ass had a bedtime. But I do remember going to Infinite Warfare's release. I know. I went to COD World War II's as well. And then Destiny 2. That one for me personally was the most memorable one because I grew up playing Bungie's games. So being able to go to a midnight release for one of their games was awesome. You know, it wasn't Halo, but it was still dope. The fans, the crowd, the atmosphere was unmatched. Everyone was so excited to get their hands on the new installment. Smiles on everyone's faces all around as they shared memories of fun times playing games. Man, what a time. And that was only like 6 years ago. I say only 6, but damn. What are some of your favorite memories of midnight releases? My favorite is when I had to go back the next day to pick up my copy of Destiny 2. I was a broke middle schooler trying to trade in old games for the money I needed for the copy. But my brother was a month shy of being old enough to trade in the games for me. Because at GameStop you need someone to be over 18 to trade in the games because it's considered pawn. Yeah, because trading in my copy of LEGO Worlds for $2 is pawn.